Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into Proverbs 15 today.
Ooh, I love this chapter.
I know, right? It's packed with these short, powerful sayings about how to live a better life.
Really resonates, even thousands of years later.
Absolutely. We'll be unpacking the impact of our words,
Uh-huh.
the importance of discipline, and the dangers of things like pride and greed.
Definitely timeless topics.
And we'll also be looking at what it means to live a righteous life.
Love it.
Get ready, because this chapter's full of ha moments.
Oh, for sure.
I know I had a few just getting ready for this. Like, take the very first proverb, Proverbs 15.1. A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare.
Makes you think about online interactions, right?
It really does, like how quickly things can escalate online.
So true. It's a powerful reminder that even when we disagree, a gentle approach
Right.
can really de-escalate a situation. And it's not about being passive, but about choosing words that promote understanding.
Instead of just like fanning the flames.
Exact.
You know, it makes me wonder, is it sometimes better to just say nothing at all?
That's an interesting thought. Proverbs also talks about the importance of speaking wisely. Proverbs 15.2 says, "The tongue of the wise makes knowledge appealing, but the mouth of a fool belches out foolishness."
Ouch. Yeah, I think we've all encountered a few foolishes comments online.
Aha, probably.
But this proverb seems to be saying that wisdom isn't just about what we say,
Yeah.
but also how we say it.
That's it. It's about seeking knowledge, considering our words, and making sure we're contributing something valuable.
So not just avoiding harsh words,
Uh-huh.
but making sure our words are worth saying.
Exactly. And there's another proverb about timing and choosing the right words for the occasion. Proverbs 15.23, "Everyone enjoys a fitting reply. It is wonderful to say the right thing at the right time."
I've definitely blurted things out and regretted it later.
Oh, me too.
It's a good reminder to pause and consider the impact.
Absolutely. It also makes me think about the importance of listening first,
Oh, for sure.
so we can really understand and respond appropriately.
Right. Now, Proverbs also talks about discipline and correction, which can be tough.
Yeah?
Proverbs 15.5 says, "Only a fool despises a parent's discipline. Whoever learns from correction is wise."
Interesting.
Sometimes we think of discipline as punishment, but this proverb seems to focus on learning.
I see that. It's about being open to feedback, even when it's hard, and using it to grow.
But how do we know if the correction is actually constructive?
That's a great question. Proverbs 15.31 says, "If you listen to constructive criticism, you will be at home among the wise." So I think we need to be discerning about who's influencing us.
And look for guidance that's wise and kind.
Exactly.
So true wisdom comes from being humble enough to admit we don't have all the answers.
And seeking advice from those who've been there.
Right. And this applies to all areas of life, right? Like work, friendships.
Absolutely.
It's about seeing correction as self-improvement, not a personal attack.
I like that.
And on the flip side, Proverbs 15.10 and 12 show us that rejecting correction leads to negative consequences.
And isolation.
Yeah, I can think of times I was stubborn and refused to listen.
Happens to all of us.
I probably would have saved myself some trouble if I'd been more open.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not just about avoiding punishment, but becoming wiser.
Absolutely.
Let's shift gears a bit and talk about pride and greed.
Oh yeah, two biggies.
Definitely. Proverbs 15.25 says, "The Lord tears down the house of the proud, but he protects the property of widows."
Powerful.
It seems to be about the dangers of arrogance and the importance of humility,
Right. True strength isn't about puffing ourselves up.
but recognizing our limitations.
Exactly.
Like that saying, pride comes before the fall.
Definitely. And Proverbs also warns about greed affecting families and communities.
Like in Proverbs 15.27, "Greed brings grief to the whole family, but those who hate bribes will live." What do you make of that one?
It's a warning against letting material wealth and personal gain become our main focus. It can lead to destruction, not just for us, but for those around us too.
Makes me think about those corporate scandals where greed leads to the downfall of companies and harms so many people.
It's a good reminder that true wealth isn't about money.
But about the quality of our relationships and our impact on the world.
Exactly. Now, Proverbs also talks about the blessings of a righteous and humble life.
Okay, yeah.
Proverbs 15.9 talks about God's love for those who pursue godliness.
And Proverbs 15.29 says that God hears the prayers of the righteous. So comforting.
Very powerful. And speaking of guidance, Proverbs 15.14 really stood out to me. "A wise person is hungry for knowledge, while the fool feeds on trash."
Wow, that's intense. We're bombarded with information every day, right?
Constantly.
News, social media. Are we being selective or just absorbing whatever comes our way?
Good question. Are we feeding our minds with good stuff or junk?
You know, it makes me think about being a critical thinker, not just passively accepting everything.
So important. We need to evaluate information, separate fact from fiction, and seek diverse perspectives.
Otherwise, we're vulnerable to misinformation and manipulation.
Exactly. Proverbs 15.14 challenges us to be intentional about what we let into our minds.
And actively seek knowledge that nourishes us?
Yes,
This has been so insightful already, and we've only just scratched the surface of Proverbs 15.
it's amazing, right? So much wisdom packed into these verses. And there are connections between them, like a tapestry.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. We talked about gentle words and wise speech, but Proverbs 15.4 says, "Gentle words are a tree of life, a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit." A deeper dive into the power of words.
Right, it's not just about avoiding harsh words, but also about speaking truth and using our words to build others up.
So important these days when it's so easy to spread negativity online. Our words can seal or harm, give life, or crush the spirit.
And it makes me think about surrounding ourselves with people who speak life into us.
Yes, those who encourage us. And being mindful of how our own words impact others.
Absolutely. And as Proverbs 15.7, it says, "The lips of the wise give good advice. The heart of a fool has none to give." This one hit me.
I can see why. I've definitely received some not-so-wise advice.
Haha, same here.
It's a caution to be discerning about who we listen to.
For sure. Not all advice is equal. We need to evaluate the source and the motivation behind it, see if it aligns with our values.
Makes me think about the importance of mentors. But also, we have a responsibility to cultivate wisdom in ourselves.
To be able to give good advice to others.
Exactly. Wisdom is something we develop through experience and a willingness to learn.
It's a journey.
And Proverbs guides us. What about Proverbs 15.8? "The Lord detests the sacrifice of the wicked, but he delights in the prayers of the upright."
This one highlights the importance of actions matching our words.
Right, walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yes, true righteousness isn't about outward appearances.
It's about integrity, living out our beliefs.
Right, it's about having a pure heart and genuinely wanting to do what's right.
And this connects with Proverbs 15.11, which says, "Even death and destruction hold no secrets from the Lord. How much more does he know the human heart?" A bit sobering.
Definitely. Nothing is hidden from God. He sees our thoughts and intentions, even the deepest desires.
Makes you think about being honest with ourselves and with God, recognizing our flaws and striving to live by our values.
Even when no one's watching.
Exactly. True fulfillment comes from authenticity and connection with the divine.
Speaking of connection, there's Proverbs 15.15. "All the days of the oppressed are wretched, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast."
I love this one. It's about our outlook impacting our experience.
Even in tough times, a cheerful heart can bring joy and contentment.
Happiness isn't just about external factors.
It's also an internal state. We can choose joy.
Like that saying, life is 10% what happens and 90% how we react.
Exactly. And there's another proverb about choosing our perspective. Proverbs 15.17. "Better a small serving of vegetables with love than a fattened calf with hatred."
This one's so vivid. Relationships are more valuable than possessions.
Even simple things are better with loved ones. Luxury can't make up for negativity and conflict.
Love and connection, the true ingredients for a fulfilling life.
Absolutely. Speaking of connection, Proverbs 15.22 reminds us to seek wise counsel. It says, "Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed." Have you ever been in a situation where seeking advice helped you?
Oh, definitely. We all have blind spots. It's so valuable to have people who offer different perspectives.
Like two heads are better than one, or many advisors bring success.
Exactly. And it's not just about specific problems, but surrounding ourselves with wise counsel in general.
Having people we trust for guidance and support.
So building a network of trusted advisors, it ties back to cultivating wisdom in ourselves.
The more we grow, the better advice we can give.
A virtuous cycle. Seeking counsel makes us wiser, and then we can offer better counsel.
Exactly. Wisdom is something we can receive and give, creating positive change.
I'm noticing a theme here, especially in those focusing on relationships. Proverbs 15.18. "A hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel." And then Proverbs 15.19. "The way of the sluggard is blocked with thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway."
You're right, they highlight self-control, patience, and integrity in relationships.
If we want healthy relationships, we need to be mindful of our behavior.
Make choices that promote harmony.
And the opposite is true too. Anger, laziness, or a lack of integrity create obstacles.
We can either pave the way for smooth relationships or create a path full of thorns.
And that choice determines the quality of our connections.
And our overall fulfillment. Before we wrap up, there's Proverbs 15.20. "A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish man despises his mother." What are your thoughts?
It speaks to the impact of our choices on our families and the importance of honoring our parents.
Our actions have a ripple effect, especially on those closest to us.
And the choices you make today impact future generations. It's about the legacy we leave.
Not just for ourselves, but for our children and grandchildren.
It also makes me think about forgiveness and reconciliation in families
Even if there have been mistakes, it's never too late to make amends.
and build stronger relationships with our families.
Family can be complex, but also precious.
This has been so insightful. I feel better equipped to navigate life with wisdom and grace. Going into this last part,
Yeah.
I'm struck by how these ancient sayings are like little nuggets of wisdom.
I know what you mean.
It's not just about reading them, it's
It's
about letting them sink in
Right.
and change how we approach things.
Absolutely. They offer these practical, timeless strategies.
Yeah, like that one we touched on earlier,
Worth one.
Proverbs 15.1, about gentle answers deflecting anger.
Oh, yeah. A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare.
That one, it's been swirling around in my head.
It's a good one. It actually reminds me of something that happened recently.
Oh, yeah.
I was tempted to respond harshly to some criticism, but I remembered that proverb.
Good for you.
Took a deep breath before I answered.
Did it help?
It really did. Instead of getting defensive, I heard them out and responded calmly.
Nice.
It actually turned into a productive conversation.
That's awesome. Putting these proverbs into practice
It works.
really changes things. I've definitely reacted impulsively and regretted it.
Me too.
This proverb reminds us to pause and choose our words carefully.
Yeah, consider the impact.
Definitely. There's also that proverb about choosing our battles.
Which one?
Proverbs 15.1, about the hot-tempered person stirring up conflict.
Oh, right. A hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel.
I can relate. I get fired up easily, but I'm learning to take a step back.
Let things cool down.
Exactly. And it ties into Proverbs 15.19 about the way of the sluggard versus the upright.
The way of the sluggard is blocked with thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway.
Right. Our habits and choices can create obstacles or pave the way.
It's like we're creating our own reality through our choices.
So true.
Laziness and negativity, those are roadblocks. Diligence, integrity, a positive outlook, that's a clear path.
I wonder, are there any practical tips for cultivating patience and self-control?
Well, mindfulness comes to mind.
Mindfulness.
Yeah, being present in the moment. Noticing our thoughts and emotions without judgment.
I see.
It can help us pause before we react impulsively.
That makes sense. I've found meditation and journaling helpful.
Feels great.
Helps with self-awareness and intentionality. But it's not just about managing emotions, right?
No, it's also about aligning our choices with our values.
Exactly. Like Proverbs 15.22 reminds us.
Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed.
I've learned that trying to do everything myself leads to setbacks.
Oh, I hear that.
This proverb reminds us to seek wise counsel.
From friends, family, mentors.
Yeah, therapists too.
It's a sign of strength, actually, to ask for help.
It's empowering to know we don't have to go it alone.
And it brings us back to that proverb about vegetables and love.
Oh yeah, better a small serving of vegetables with love than a fattened calf with hatred. One of my favorites.
Right. Love and connection are what truly nourish us.
It reminds me of all the research on the importance of social
For our
connection.
health, yeah.
Yes, we're wired for it. Prioritizing those connections builds a foundation for a happy life.
It makes me think about all the ways we can cultivate love.
In our everyday lives.
Not just romantic love, but in friendships, families, communities,
kindness, compassion, forgiveness.
generosity,
Showing up for people.
celebrating their successes, supporting them through challenges.
Creating a culture of love and belonging.
Beautiful. Wrapping up this deep dive into Proverbs 15.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for its wisdom and inspired to live it out.
Me too. So many practical insights and actionable steps.
It's an ongoing journey, this wisdom thing.
Always learning and growing.
Becoming the best versions of ourselves.
So true. To everyone listening,
Yes,
thank you for joining us.
we hope you found this insightful and inspiring.
Keep exploring them proverbs.
And discover their wisdom for your own life.
Until next time.